Mr. Jesse from New York, New York.
Yes,
With
yes.
Urban Threshold. So, Mr. Jesse, thank you so much for taking some time out and sitting with me.
Yes, I appreciate, this opportunity to be up on Heads Up TV.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's great. So, tell me a little bit about what Urban Threshold is and what you got going on.
Okay. Well, like I mentioned, my name is Jesse Atkinson. Urban Thresholds, the company. We're the founders of the Underground Music Awards, which has become the biggest national award show for independent artists in the country. Past winners or alumni, even before they got signed, include Nicki Minaj, Machine Gun Kelly, MGK, Mano, Fred the Godson, Papoose, Remy Martin, and so many others. So that event has actually outgrown us, So we pay homage to the upcoming artists, and then we also pay homage to the legends in the game as well. We've honored everyone from Slick Rick to Kid Capri. Last year we paid homage to Michael Bivins from Belle Biv DeVoe and Mr. Cheeks from the Lost Boys. So we present awards to the legends in the game as well as the upcoming artists as well.
I love it. Well, let me just get right into it a little bit. I'm going to just kind of jump in. What is relevant? I hear this word a lot, and people say, oh, well, what makes you a legend? What makes you great as far as being picked for the Underground Awards to be even acknowledged? Because people, once they think that you're irrelevant, it's kind of like, whatever.
Exactly. Well, we look at a number of things. Number one, we do consider the music.
Yes.
The music has to have some kind of impact. We look for music that is a little different as well. But we also look at other things. We look at the impact you're making in your region and beyond. We look at the exposure that you're getting in terms of if you have some kind of national brand recognition, if you have fans out there, fan development and all of that. So there's a number of different things we look at. And in terms of how we nominate the artists, each year we have this submission process. So we have artists who send in music for us to consider for nomination consideration. Also, we have tastemakers that we deal with, DJs, A&R executives, who also recommend artists that we should consider for nomination. And then to try to, to cover the bases, we go out online and we Google and research the artists who are out there making moves independently. So
that's great. A lot of what I hear from the DMV artists that I interview, the independent artists, their number one goal is to get signed. Do you feel that is necessary?
Well, in terms of getting signed, I always say this, you don't necessarily want it to chase a deal. You want to attract a deal, and it all depends. There's some artists, that's their goal. They want to get signed. Then there are some other artists who want to remain independent. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to get a major deal, and you want to get a good major deal, you want to have some kind of leverage. And your fan base that's your leverage. That's your power base. Because the major labels, they don't just want your music, they want your fans as well. So it's imperative that you develop yourself as a major independent artist first before approaching a major label. Or if you want to approach a major label while you're developing, you do it to get on the radar. You know what I mean? To get an opportunity for them to at least say, hey, I'm out here. You know what I mean? But you don't want to take a meeting and say, hey, you're going to get signed right off the bat. So I say the best way to get a deal is to not chase after a deal.
I think that's a good law of attraction right there.
Right. Now, let me just tell you, in addition to the awards, what else we do? I'm also the founder of the A&R Power Summit, which is a major conference seminar series that focuses on the role of the A&R. I started that about 11 years ago. At the time, I wanted to get connected to all the major labels and things of that nature. And I saw that, there weren't many conferences that focused on the role of the A&R executives. So I figured, instead of looking for a connect, I became the connect. So I started this seminar, this conference, and we've had a who's who of industry executives sit on the panel. And out of that, we developed a program called Talent Scout Connect, which is a hybrid of a music shopping program and a marketing program. We were one of the first companies to facilitate meetings up at the labels. So we physically take artists, producers, and songwriters directly to Def Jam or Universal or Atlantic to sit down and have these meetings. So it's interesting that you asked that question about, seeking a deal. I've sat in many A&R meetings, and I tell you, basically the A&R executives, they're looking for, again, artists who have, are developing a fan base, who have developing their brand, basically, who have traction with their music. And they're looking to develop artists who are somewhat developed, on their own.
Yeah.
Prior to, getting the deal.
I have a question about A&R executives, and a lot of what I've seen, they're in the urban or hip hop era. They're not black, some of which. Do you feel that can they be relevant to a lot of the artistry that's going on, or do you feel as though that it doesn't matter what their background is?
It does matter. I feel it does matter, and that's one of the things I would change with the industry. And I wouldn't say necessarily whether they're black or white. They just have to have a passion and love for music. And I'm finding now that a lot of the major executives, some of them don't have music backgrounds, and and that's strange. And just because someone has the title, just because someone has A&R in their title, doesn't necessarily mean that they know music. So that's one thing I would change. We go back to hiring real music lovers, people who have a passion for the music, and that would help in terms of the type of artists that are being signed and developed.
That's great. What was one big standout piece of advice that you gave to the artists today?
Basically, the number one thing is, I would say, in terms of business, you got to make it your business to know the business. You're in this industry, so you got to know what the whole industry involves. You want to know the multiple revenue streams by which you can get paid as an independent artist or even a major artist. What I mentioned was that the industry right now is valued at $18 billion globally. Wow. And so folks are getting paid while a lot of independent hip-hop artists are giving away free mixtapes. So they're not looking at the different aspects in which they can generate revenue, whether it's from paid shows, digital downloads, publishing, music licensing, endorsements, sponsorships. There's a number of different ways in which you can get paid in this industry, but it's important that you understand the business aspect. The paper chase requires paperwork. So you want to make sure you have your paperwork in place. You want to make sure you have a game plan. A lot of artists create music and put it out there as if they're throwing darts against the wall, hoping to get lucky. You want to have a game plan and a strategy for each quarter of this industry. The entire music industry is broken down into 4 quarters. And you want to have a plan, a strategy, and a budget for each quarter. And the strategy that you have for one particular quarter should be setting you up for the next quarter. So it's all about the business aspect as well as the music, because it's not just about the talent, it's about the entire movement. And artists got to understand this, that your fans don't just buy your music, they buy your movement, they buy your image, they buy everything that you stand for. People want to be part of something that is perceived to be special, So, and you want to deliver experiences that people can share. So it's all about creating these incredible experiences that fans can share with other people. I'm sure you've heard some dope music that you like, hey, you called up a friend or someone and you wanted to share it.
Yes.
That's the main focus you should be looking at as well as an independent artist.
Awesome advice. So if someone wanted to learn more about what you do, wanted to learn more about Urban Threshold, where can they find you? Where can they get the information? Okay,
first of all, you can pick up my book. I wrote a book called The Independent Music Grind, which you can pick up on barnesandnobles.com, amazon.com, or my website, indiemusicgrind.com.
Okay.
indiemusicgrind.com. You can pick up the book. It's called The Independent Music Grind, a guide to success for independent artists and producers. I have a number of different ideas in there that's not traditionally told to artists.
Great.
And very unique concepts And that's how you can get in contact with me.
I love it. Well, thank you. I'm going to pick up the book myself. I got a 20% off coupon with Barnes & Noble,
There
so I'm
you go.
definitely going to go and check it out.
Exactly.
And I'm going to read it because there's a lot of things that you just told me that I had no idea existed when it came to the music business. So I appreciate the insight and the advice, and I thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So.
Thank you. And once again, thank you to Heads Up TV.
Yes.
Always keep your heads up, especially when you're in this music grind.
Yes.
Thank you.
You guys just caught it here. The best interview I've had all night. Mr. Jesse, and we out.